Hello everyone, welcome to the TriStar Gym channel. Today's episode is a very special episode. What we're going to be doing in this episode is the ground and pound experiment. Now what that means exactly is we're basically going to take some MMA guys, put some 16-ounce gloves on them, put them on top of some BJJ experts, and just see what happens. Are they able to land blows? Are they able to pass the guard? Are they able to crush those BJJ practitioners on the bottom? Or are the BJJ guys going to be able to sweep, submit, get up, get into some superior position? Now, this, in my opinion, is probably one of the most important aspects of fighting: learning to defend yourself on the bottom. Now, what you're seeing in front of you is a BJJ practitioner on the back of a bigger, stronger opponent who's just about to escape, achieve top position, and start raining down blows. And what you're going to see is the BJJ practitioner on the bottom is just unable to defend himself against these blows, and he's going to end up losing this fight. Now, the question in this video that we want to answer, is this BJJ practitioner losing this fight because he's inexperienced or because it's a fatal flaw in Jiu-Jitsu? Are we able to rely on our Jiu-Jitsu to protect us in the street, in a self-defense situation, or in a fight situation? Is the man on the bottom able to defend himself if he has adequate amount of experience and skill, or is it the fatal flaw of Jiu-Jitsu? It just doesn't work much when you're on the bottom. And to help me answer this question today is two very special guests. The first of these two very special guests is none other than the great Gary Tonin. Now, for those of you who don't know much about Jiu-Jitsu, Gary Tonin is one of the most feared submission-only practitioners on the planet today. He's probably the most successful submission-only practitioner today, with multiple wins in EBI. And in his last EBI tournament, he actually was the first man to ever submit all his opponents on the same night. And he has multiple wins in Metamoris, all by way of submission, and Polaris as well, and many other type of sub-only grappling tournaments. Now, his style of jiu-jitsu is extremely exciting, not only because he gets to the finish, but because his jiu-jitsu is extremely dynamic. Now, this style of jiu-jitsu is heavily influenced by the great John Danaher in New York, which I train under as well. I'm a black belt also under John Danaher. And you're going to see in this video, our style of jiu-jitsu is very geared towards MMA. There's a lot of MMA aspects when you go to Henzo's. There's a lot of MMA guys, just like a TriStar Gym. We're doing a lot of jiu-jitsu with people who only do jiu-jitsu, lots of black belts coming in and out of the academy, but also a lot of MMA guys. So oftentimes, we're going to help cross-train the MMA guys and the jiu-jitsu guys, and we're going to see what's what. We're going to test our jiu-jitsu in different realms, and it makes for a very interesting component. So I really look forward to watching what happens with Gary Tonin and what his style of jiu-jitsu brings to the table. It's a very dynamic and unique style, and I think you're all going to enjoy it very, very much. Now, my second guest on this episode is Gordon Ryan. Gordon Ryan is an up-and-coming jiu-jitsu phenom. He is also trained in New York at the Renzo Gracie Academy by John Danaher. He is also a leg lock expert. He is also one of the most phenomenal jiu-jitsu guys I've ever worked with. And he is very young and up-and-coming, and you guys will be hearing his name on a regular basis. I sincerely believe he will be one of the most pound-for-pound successful jiu-jitsu practitioners on the face of the earth. So look out for him in the near future. You're going to get a nice look at him in this episode. We're going to see what he has in store for us when somebody's on top of him trying to punch him. And so will I. I'm also going to be getting on the mat and partaking in this experiment. And we're going to be giving you guys the result of the experiment, uncut, uncensored, and we're going to see what happens. So without further ado, guys, please do enjoy this episode, and I will look forward to hearing your comments. Thank you. Okay, so today's what we're going to be learning is how to defend yourself from the guard when somebody's trying to punch you. Me, what I like to do personally is I like to keep my knees between me and my partner to make sure that his fist can't reach me. That's my number one concern, not getting punched. It's very difficult when you're on the bottom to defend yourself, but the number one thing you want to do is avoid the punch. After I avoid the punch, I like to spin in the legs, triangles, etc. I like to get to my attacks. But the first thing I always do is protect myself with my knees. What about you, Gary?
I'm going to be dealing in a situation where somebody stands over me while I try to lock guard on them, which could be challenging for people because the whole point of guard is to break somebody down. So somebody's going to stand over me and start throwing strikes. And we're going to talk about getting your legs inside, keeping somebody off balance so that they can't hit you in the face.
What about you?
I have a similar theory similar to Faraz. I like to keep my knees on my forearms in between my partner's arms and myself. I like to use a method where I block my partner's biceps as opposed to trying to catch punches by themselves. I keep inside position on my partner's biceps and try to control where he moves those.
Awesome, guys. Let's see how it goes. sir. Ready. Nice work, Eric. Nice. Keep working, Eric. Try to get to your feet. Do whatever you would do in a fight. Do whatever it is you would do in a fight. Yeah, try to do whatever it is you would do. Nice work.
Yeah, Gordon, in a fight, just go inverted so he punches you in the face. I hope the Hulk punched him right in his face when he did that.
Nice. Keep working. Look at you.
Little punch, kid. Don't be shy. Go. Okay. No, punch to the face, but don't be shy. Bro, if you don't have gloves on, you can poke you in the eyes right now. Nice. That was better, boy. Gary.
Oriano and punch. Don't mind punch. There you go. Try to stack you with punch more. Don't sit. If you sit, do what you want. Stand. Good job.
Douchebag, yeah? Sorry, that was an asshole move.
That's your job.
Try to stack it.
No, c'est ça, je t'ai guéri, là.
Sorry, bro. Sorry. Switch my balls.
Sorry, Gary. Trying to get your back.
Very cool.
Try to tag him. Nice. Try to tag him. Keep it up. Try to get to your feet. Try to do whatever. Mo, don't look at me. Keep going. You gotta defend yourself. You're in a sparring match. Okay, break. Okay, who's next? It's you. You were there. You're in a sparring. You just gotta keep going. Yeah, sure.
If I get half. Ready? Go.
Try to posture and punch. Nice. Sweet. Beautiful. Come on, you and me. Next. Go. Yeah, punch. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, Gordon, you're up. We're gonna do it a few rounds. We'll switch it up. Too. We'll switch it up. Go. Yeah, you're trying to tag him. Okay? He's gonna pick the situation.
Go for like a half guarding us.
You can use any guard you want. Ready?
Yep.
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 You're trying to break free and punch. Nice. Nice. Hey, Eric, go on. Eric. Starting close guard. Just about here. Ready? Yeah.
Pattern right where you want.
Close guard.
Yes, sir.
Ready?
Beautiful. Find your hardest there. Fight your hardest. Yeah, punch. Punch, break it. So I'll do something different. Nice shot. Okay. So Mo, you go on top of me now, and you can do from a distance. You can ground pound. So you won't even be in my close guard, okay? Ready? Yeah. Go.
Nice.
Start from open distance. Nice. Beautiful, Gary. Of course, it's always very dangerous to be on the bottom because the ground behind you doesn't give you room to escape the strike. So your jiu-jitsu has to be very good to stop the guy on top. And as you can see, when we're rolling, we're going into a lot of leg locks. That's why I like the leg lock game. I think the leg lock game at Hensel Gracie Academy with John Danaher, it's very effective for self-defense and the mixed martial arts because when you trip up a guy's legs, he's so worried about the ankle, he can't really base himself to strike.
And that's why I really like that style. I like to spin underneath and attack those ankles. And if a guy's really big and strong, ankles are weak. So for me, I like to protect myself with my knees, spin underneath, grab those ankles, rip them up. And if you don't get the ankle, it doesn't matter. The ankle lock will lead to a sweep. And of course, your jiu-jitsu has to be very good. You know, if the guy on top of you jiu-jitsu is better, none of this stuff is going to work. You have to get to an adequate level of jiu-jitsu. And the guys we're going with are very experienced blue belts, very experienced MMA fighters, amateur MMA fighters, all with many fights. But the key is when we get to one position, we have the experience and the speed to go to the next position before we get hit. If you're too slow to go from one position to the next, you're going to get hit in between transitions, and that's gonna really hurt the guy on the bottom. So experience is really important. Good style of jiu-jitsu, wrapping the guy's legs up, grabbing those ankle locks. That's the style I like.
Yeah, so, just to comment off of some of the things Faraz said, I 100% believe that particularly not just leg locks in general, but the control of the legs becomes super, super important in self-defense situations, especially when dealing with somebody who is on top of you, trying to punch you in the face. Many times they get to a standing position. And if you don't know how to control the person when they're on top of you, in terms of striking, it's going to be very, very difficult to continue to fight without getting badly injured. So you see in a lot of my little exchanges there, I held position inside certain leg locking positions and just kept my distance and just waited to see if the other person could hit me. And most of the time, it wasn't the case. Just by simple distancing with my legs and control over the other person's legs, I was able to control the fight and make sure that I wasn't going to get injured. And many times, that's, especially from a self-defense perspective, the main objective. Not so much necessarily that I expect every single person, that's not a high-level jiu-jitsu guy to just be able to submit everybody that's in the street or everybody that's going to be fighting them, but just be able to prevent yourself from taking damage is a whole skill in and of its own. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, just building off what these guys said, it's not just controlling legs, it's controlling limbs in general. It's much easier to control bigger person's limbs than it is to control Matt's torso. And when you look to feed into these leg entries, it's much easier to keep your opponent's weight off of you, right? As opposed to dealing with upper body grips. Sometimes they can lay on you, and if they're much bigger or stronger, it's easier for them to put their weight on you. When I enter into these leg positions, it's easier to keep them off balance and keep their weight off of me. Especially talking self-defense wise, where there's not weight classes, it's much easier to deal with someone when you're controlling the limbs as opposed to their torso. If someone's 120 pounds and they're trying to control another person who's 240 pounds, if they're just trying to control their whole body, it's going to be much more difficult than if I'm just trying to control one arm or one leg or their neck, for instance. So, just controlling limbs as opposed to controlling the whole body is very helpful, especially in self-defense situations where you may be way smaller than the guy.